Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope the start of your summer is starting out beautifully. I've noticed some of my peeps have actually now going on vacation, and I can't because I'm building a house and I'm working all the time, and summer is the busiest time for me. So here I am at my computer. Today I want to talk about the Alyssa Edwards palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a beautiful palette. I've created several looks with this palette and I am so impressed with the colors in here. They are beautiful. You can actually get the PR box if you want. Like, you can buy it as it would come as a PR box. Now, I bought all my own products. In the PR box, you also get the beautiful fan. It's a little big if you put on setting spray to fan it. Like, I'm hitting everything around me, but it is cute for like a, I'm gonna put it on my wall maybe in my new studio when I get over to my other house. But I thought it was kind of cute. And of course you get the little beast mirror, so it says beast on it. The fan of course says beast on it, so I thought that was kind of cool. I do like the mirror, and it's kind of pretty. You know, I needed a mirror, so I thought I'm just going to get the whole box. I will leave a price tag for you down below because I can't remember exactly what I paid for the whole thing. But anyway, what I wanted to do today was show you this natural look with a pop of color. And most of these colors in here, you know, you can do that with. That way, if you like color but you're not quite sure, you know, if you can actually pull it off, you can pull it off. Anybody can pull it off. So I'm going to go over that with you. I'm going to show you how I created this look and how I brought in a little pop of color. So if you like a little pop of color but you don't like that blown out glam look, this is the video for you. And then after I'm done the look, I'll give you kind of a lowdown of what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and if it's worth your money. So if you're interested in that, please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm pretty excited to dive into this palette. It is a beautiful, look at that. Lots of color there. Now, if you're afraid of color, don't be. This is a nice palette to use. So I had to clean a whole bunch of my brushes. So I'm using everything from ColourPop to BH Cosmetics to Morphe and Sigma all in here. So yeah. So first of all, I'm going to go in with, let's see, I'm going to go in with the Supreme. So this one here, right there. I'm going to use that as a transition color. Hopefully it'll show up on my skin tone. Okay, then I'm using the same brush because it's really not that dirty. I'm going to go in with HOE. And of course, that doesn't represent what you think it represents. And I'm just going to go and just a little bit lower than I put, the Supreme, just to darken that up a little bit. We're going to do a more natural look with just a splash of color, because I think a lot of people, and I've noticed in other videos, there's a lot of people that are actually more into the natural looks, the day-to-day looks that you can wear. Even with a palette like this, you can do that with a splash of color, which is what I like to do. I'm going to go in with back rolls. So this one here. Now, what I find with most of these colors, I believe they're pressed pigments, because when I find that when I go in with these dark colors, they get a little patchy, so, and that's kind of consistent with pressed pigments. So for packing on today, I'm going to use the Still Spot Essentials brush, which I don't know if I showed you before. I've had it for a while. I bought it from the drugstore. It was quite inexpensive, and I actually do like it. Like, it's pretty thick. You can see there, it's pretty thick. It's a really good for packing on and blending out, I find, especially with these pressed pigments. So we're going to go in with back rolls. Now this is quite a dark color, but as you know, I need a dark color on the outer edge of my eye. So I'm just going to start by packing it on. I'm not going to blend right now because you will not get a very good blend. I'm just packing it there. There. Looks a little nuts, doesn't it? At this point, I would not leave it like this. Take my favorite. This is Quo. This is one I've used many times. Bought from the drugstore. Affordable, and I'm just going to, because it's completely clean, but it's a little bit smaller, so I just want to get in here and blend this. But I don't want that color to disappear. I find with pressed pigments sometimes they can come back off. Funny when you think about it, because most pressed pigments, especially like bright colors like purple, red, pink, that type of thing, they tend to stain your eyelids. So I think this one does that a little bit. It is blending out, but it's not blending out the way I kind of like it. So I'm going to go back in with HOE and help it to blend out here a little bit. They just don't want to blend out. So there is back rolls. I just blended it out a little bit with HOE just to blend out the edges, because like I said, with pressed pigments, they can be a little tricky to work with. Okay, so on to the next step. Now what I'm going to do is I want to just put a little bit of something here just to kind of fill in that empty spot that I have right there. And I think I'm just going to go in with Inspire. That is a beautiful color. So that is this one here. All right, so I'm going to go in with my finger to Inspire. And I'm just going to put that on my inner part of my lid there. Looks great. And of course, these shimmer colors always go on perfectly with your finger. If you can help it at all, definitely do that, because it just, I don't know, putting it on with your finger, it just makes those colors look so beautiful. I'm just gonna tone it down just a little bit because I do want to add a color on there. But even at that, like, you could leave it like that and you'd be okay. Like, it looks beautiful. I'm going to go back in with this Still brush with no extra product on it. This is the one I used for back rolls, and I'm just going to tap just on the corner just to darken up that outer edge again, just where I put Inspire. Isn't that beautiful? And like at this point, you could just leave it, right? I mean, you could just leave it at that. But now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a color. Now, you can add any one of these colors if you want to. So like Believe is beautiful, Dream It is beautiful, Texas Made is gorgeous, like these ones here. Very dark, very pigmented. These are the pressed pigments that I told you about. I don't know if Back Rolls is actually a pressed pigment. I think it might be. I don't know. It doesn't really say on the box. I don't know. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I think I will go in with, I think I'm gonna go in with Believe. I don't know. They're all so pretty. Like Believe, Dream It. I don't know, what do you think? Blue? Ooh, I'm not doing that. I'm seriously not. It's so hard to tell. They're all so pretty. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with Dream It Blue. So I'm going to wet the brush. Don't tell nobody. This palette honestly will never be used by anybody else, and neither will this brush. So you can do this. It's okay. As long as the makeup and the brush isn't going to be used by anybody else, not a biggie. So I'm going to go into Dream It, and that's the beautiful blue one. Now this is where you can add just a pop of color. I'm just going to bring it out just a little bit, not much. I don't want to bring it out too much. Like, isn't that pretty? Like, it just, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it looks so nice in person. And of course I've got these horrible hooded eyes and droopy eyes, so it's hard to do a winged look on my eyes. It really is. I'm just gonna try a little bit, just to bring it up a little. All right. So there is a little bit of color added to, you know, a more natural look. And you can use any one of these colors just to line your eyes. I mean, it just depends on what mood you're in that day. So I'm gonna go off camera now. I'm gonna finish up my face, and I will be back to talk to you about the palette and how I feel about it. All right, this is a finished look. Now, after I put my lashes on, it kind of covered Dream It. So I just went in again with Dream It and just kind of went over where the band of my lash was, and actually it worked out really good. So this is the final look with a little pop of color. I don't know if you can see it really good on the camera, but like in the mirror, it actually looks really nice. And if you like that little pop of color here and there with your makeup look, this is easy to achieve. And this palette is good because the colors are very vibrant. They're easy to go on. I didn't have a problem, like you saw, blending out back rolls. The only thing is that to blend out and soften up the edges, like soften up the top edges, I did have to go in with HOE just to soften up the outer edge of back rolls, just because back rolls is such a vibrant dark brown, and it actually worked out really nice. So it was an easy look to create with that little pop of color if that's what you want. And I know a lot of people, sometimes people are scared to do, you know, that little pop of color, and you know what, it looks good, it looks pretty, and it just brings that little pop of boom, you know, like boom. The palette is easy to use as long as you don't mind playing with pressed pigments. These are pressed pigments, so a little bit different than regular eyeshadows. They can be a little bit tricky to put on, but if you just pack it on first and then blend it out after with a lighter color, you shouldn't have any issues, and it looks good, like, you know. Now the only thing that you may not like about the palette is that it does stain. Okay, so being a pressed pigment, the pigments will stain your lids. So like Believe, this one here, Dream It, if I can get my fingers to go. So Dream It, Texas Made, those colors, as well as BBDC. Now I have used this one in a different look that I created. So this one here also does stain my lids. Now, when I've used pressed pigments, say from like Jeffree Star, like from his Blood Sugar palette, I did get a little bit of staining, but it only lasted for a couple hours. With this palette, I find that it lasts, like if I wear it all day, take off my makeup at night, I've still got staining in the morning. So if you mind that, and if you don't really like that, you're not going to like this palette that much. Myself, it doesn't really bother me to have that staining, just that it's a little bit odd to still have the color still on there in the morning. So I have to use a really good concealer to cover that up. And today I used my Tarte Shape Tape just as a concealer to cover up any discoloration in my eyelids. I don't have a lot of color. I don't have a lot of discoloration in my eyelids, but it is nice to have that canvas, that clean canvas. And I find with this palette, it's always best to put you know, a concealer or an eye primer on your eyes. It just goes on a lot better. Now, even with the eye primer, you are going to get staining, so just beware that that is going to happen. But overall, I did like the palette. I love the colors. They're very vibrant. The yellow, the pink, the blue, beautiful to work with. They go on real nicely, easily. I had no issues. If you are interested in seeing a colorful look I created with this palette, just let me know down in the comments below. If you'd like to see that, I will do that for you. So with that, I'm gonna head on out and see if it's sunny or if it's still raining. I don't know. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in my next video.